No. I I no. Yeah, but how fast? Mhm. There we go. You know what? This is exactly why I take my vacation days and specifically reserve them for Grand Prix weekend because I refuse to work for Grand Prix in customer service ever again. Because why am I fucking gonna take verbal abuse from people that come here that literally fucking destroy our fucking town partying and they get to drive on the streets that on a regular basis I lose my job because I didn't make it to work on time because of the fucking traffic and my boss does not give a shit. Yeah, you guys can literally repair entire main fucking highways for Grand Prix, for the bike people, for the golf court tournament. Like, piss the fuck off, honestly. Should have built the ram. I can guarantee you they're gonna be. No, it's temporary. It'll be great for our economy. It'll be worth it because our economy will be so much better. That must be a fucking oh, no. This is why I'm like, why do you guys shit on Doug Ford so hard for everything? Oh, Doug Ford is the one who's doing safe supply shit. I'm like, not just Doug Ford. They've been doing it before he was in power, first of all. Second of all, Doug Ford was hand shoveling people out of the snow one winter. I was like, why do people shit on this guy so fucking hard? When they're off in the Bahamas for the winter and Doug Ford is literally shoveling people out of the snowbank. And they're like, well, Doug Ford has no clue how to fucking deal with the drug problem. He only had a fucking brother that died of a drug overdose. I'm pretty sure he has a bit of experience. What? He died from cancer? I can't wait till the day that they say that someone committed a crime and they were a white guy wearing like a yellow jumpsuit or like a banana costume. They're always like, there was a crime that occurred. It was two tall men dressed in black. I'm like, that's very specific. I'll keep an eye out. Yeah, they stick around. It's crazy. Oh, really? You know, no clue what prompted this. Really, really, because of the race problem, probably because there's so much racism. Drug addicts, maybe. Man, you guys are fucking Inspector Gadget over here, like solving the big crime. What happens when they make a fire? you couldn't guys find anybody else who might speak English. That's good. And it's so sad that it's an Indian guy who is literally getting shit on because they came here, they have a successful business, and now fucking our people are pissed off. And they're like, oh, they're taking all their figures for dirt. And he's like, this is all, I agree, it's not normal, it's fucked up. Why? So they can accuse you of being an accomplice? No one would do this. Narrows it down. It's great when all your cars look exactly the same. What? This is a carjacking. You know what? Honestly, there's a guy that was talking about how he was like, you know what? I just had dropped off my kid at daycare. And I had literally like just turned the corner and I was sitting at the intersection at the light and some guy in the car behind him got out of the passenger seat and fucking told him, get out of the car, I'm taking your car and I'm really, really sorry. I don't want to do this, but you're making me do it. And he was like, it was at first I was like, oh my God, this is so scary. I'm being carjacked. And he's like, I just really did not expect the guy who was carjacking me to be apologizing to me while he does it. Like, and he was like, I'm so sorry. I have to. They're making me. And I'm so sorry I'm doing this to you. And he was like, you know what? And I didn't even realize until afterwards. He was like, my daughter was just in the car. My kid was just in the car. And there's a lot of instances where people are doing carjackings and there's a dog in the back, there's a child in the back, and then they dump the car off a couple blocks down because they stole a car and they did not realize that there was a fucking child in the back seat in the car seat. Yeah, and I was like, that is actually really different though. Hearing somebody who was like, I was really mad and then I felt really bad. Even though I was the one getting carjacked, I felt really bad for the guy because he seemed like he was like, I have no choice. Like, which is super fucked up. He was like, what if my kid was in the car though? Like, he could have fucking kidnapped my kid by accident. He didn't even want to fucking do the carjacking. Like, very bizarre. That's what I mean though. Like, now you're talking about like kidnapping and Amber Alerts and investigations about a kidnapping when the guy was literally just being forced by somebody to do carjacking to prove that you're real and to prove that you're thug and whatever. And it could be a fucking average guy that's throwing money. Like, that's what happened to my dad when me and my mom moved out. Him and Caitlin were at the house and they didn't have electricity for like 2 to 3 weeks. And he ended up going to the island and things and asked for money to get the power back on because he was leaving groceries on our doorstep instead of paying the electricity bill. He borrowed money and he said that when he went back to them, they asked for an extra 1,500. And he was like, oh, motherfucker. So he went up 1,500 and then they were like, okay, we're good. And you know what? He can always go back to them if he ever needs something again. Because it's like a loan shark. But they're more honest about the fact that it's not free, the service, that you're borrowing money, it's not free, obviously. And they might ask you for a little extra to end of it. And if you don't give them that little bit extra, well, they help you. They're not going to be very helpful. So, yeah. Yeah, but Trump is over it. He's like, okay, well, I offered a deal, and you guys don't know why he's bullying us. so they can push the EV car ban or the banning electric cars by 2030. That's what the trucker convoy ended up being about. That they blocked the Chicago border. Shocking. Ooh. Really? Considering the amount of vehicles that are here. I just found them. Found those vehicles. Not anymore. You guys fucking fucked it up. He doesn't want to negotiate anymore. Everyone else complied. You guys thought the UK would back you guys up because Canada was the only one who went, wow, he's bullying us. Canada's not special. The UK is not going to cover us. No, but I'm the one who's a fucking idiot who doesn't get it. Like, I don't know nothing. Six left, not a house. How do we fix the homeless problem? By not giving them houses, obviously. Well, good luck with that. Okay. No. Of gang rape and recording it. But boys will be boys. She knew what she was getting into when she went over there. Yeah, and then five other guys came in. Oh, and the amount of times that they tried to be like, well, she knew what she was doing. She told lured them in. She consented to five guys, five of them. And they recorded it. Oh, and fucking everything should be okay. Mm-hmm. Because it was not a three-way. It was a 5-on-1. That is called gang rape. Their own teammates are testifying against them because their mothers are like, well, she didn't be that. She knew what she was doing. She lured them into this. Yep. Yep. Now it's gonna be all done. Yep. This is already done. What? Yeah. Wow. Wow. And the more they downplayed it, the worse it made them sound. Just saying. They're starving children to death. That is worse than killing people. Starving someone to death is worse than killing them. And that's aid. They're allowing nothing. You guys are genociding them, and you guys get to say that we give them enough aid. This is why all the donations are bullshit. All the donations to fucking Gaza don't get here. Go into the pockets. I'm sorry. Like, Yeah, but isn't Vladimir Zelensky the leader? Yeah, because I think we're done talking about. Yeah, but everyone has a different opinion of what humans' right is. Just an unjust wars because they're being terrorists. Like, I'm not even talking about a conversation with this. Like, what? Yeah, but not everyone's part of it yet. Now you know how we feel when they say it's mandatory to pay these fines and these fees. That's for the greater good. Fuck the greater good. Oh, God. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna go build up some more land. Good. Your cottage price. What do you mean for cottage prices? No, my cottage prices. What? You know what? It sucks that I make these jokes at first, and then I'm like, haha, wouldn't that be so funny if that was happening? And then it is happening. I'm like, oh, but now it's really not funny. It's like dead mom jokes. The only time they're funny is when you end up doing it to somebody who also has a dead mom, and they snap back with a joke every once in a while, and then you guys could be like, ah, dead mom jokes. Like, it just shuts down the conversation completely. Funny, not funny. You know, like, obviously I'm the one who's an idiot. I don't know anything. Shit doesn't seem right. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an idiot. You know what? The answer I seem to always get is people who go, that's what you think? Really? That's what, oh wow. That's actually what you believe? Okay, well, if that's what you believe, then there's really like nothing I can say to explain it to you that you would get it. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just too dumb to explain it to you then. But really, like, tell me I'm wrong, please. I would love to be wrong about all of these things. But it seems like this is what's happening. And if I'm wrong, explain it to me because it's terrible. And I usually don't get a rebuttal afterwards. It's just that I'm too stupid to even explain it to because I still wouldn't understand. All right, I guess I just don't understand. I'm like past hope. But you know what? When fucking I lose everything again, it's like fucking Wednesday for me. Let me start all over. When fucking middle class lose lit before they even get broke, they drive their Audi down the street and pop themselves in the head. They're not even fucking broke yet. They were talking about OnlyFans for the past 2 days, and they are saying that there are men that use OnlyFans as a form of therapy because their marriages are falling apart. And apparently, there are men that are getting caught who say that they can't afford to feed their families, and secretly they're spending all the family's money on OnlyFans because that's the only people that they can talk to who won't judge them and who they feel comfortable talking to. I'm like, you know what? It's way cheaper. A therapist. And I'm assuming that if you did talk to a therapist already, they told you that you're the problem because you're a fucking selfish narcissist and maybe stop being wah for me when you're the one who's fucking everything up. And I'm assuming they don't really like that, so they'd rather a 14-year-old who they pay to fucking see their fucking tits are like, my life is so hard. My wife doesn't love me. My kids don't respect me. It's like, yeah, of course, a 14-year-old girl can be like, oh, they're wrong, and you're such a good guy, and they don't know how fucking lucky they are to have you. Of course, they're gonna say that. This is fucked up. And the fact that everybody's still talking about OnlyFans when everybody knows there are abundance of underage girls that are selling their underage girls selling pictures of themselves. This should be shut down and illegal. Can't believe that there are girls who are like, well, you don't have to do anything you're really comfortable with, and technically you're your own girl boss, and you can become an influencer and encourage other underage girls to be a girl boss. I'm like, this is so beyond wrong. If you look up OnlyFans on YouTube, they're all young girls who are influencers and who push other young girls to be their own, to be financially stable, to put money towards their education, and you don't have to do anything that you're uncomfortable with. I was like, this is so fucking wrong. I can't believe that there's even a fucking conversation about this. Like, beyond fucked up. It's so sick. Honestly. Like, no female should be told that it is completely fine and you can be mentally stable even though you sell your private parts. I am not for sale. There's no amount of money that I will accept to sell my private parts because they're not for everybody. They're mine, they're private. When you share your fucking private parts with a bunch of people, you finally find someone that you really care about and you want to have something special with. It's not very special when you've already fucking sold it to a bunch of other people. You cannot tell me that you can do that and still be mentally not fucked up. That is going to fuck up your self-esteem when you put a price on yourself. I don't know when this happened. Like, I really don't know when it was like, oh, women who work in the sex industry are not. It's a noble profession, and they're not being forced, and they're very proud of their career choice. Like, no little girl is like, when I grow up, I want to fucking put a price tag on my vagina. Because I want to be a girl boss. Because I can't follow directions. I have a bad fucking attitude. Apparently, you can be a cashier. You don't even have to count money anymore. Because they cashed in the out of money. I mean, you're a fucking shit. Holding my fucking intelligence now. These are the people who are doing very well. That's fucking annoying, stupid. Thunderstorm rain, different from regular rain. Yeah, make that happen. Okay, so why are you saying that? I don't need to talk about what you wish the weather would be. I need you to tell me what the weather will be. Yeah. Really? Because you guys just said there's a fucking heat warning. In July. I know, crazy. Shocking. Now we're talking about the United States weather. But not here. What are you talking about? Okay, that's not 50 though. You just said it'll be 50 in other places like America. A heat event. Have you heard this? You ever heard them ever say a heat event? And God forbid Torontonians are discomforted ever. Everybody stop! Toronto's upset about something. Let's post to nighttime. Tends to get what the fuck? Tends to get warmer in the day. Yeah. If it gets hotter at night and colder during the day, that's fucking weird. Tell me that. refuse to keep people in jail. Air conditioners. When we have a goldfish on a shooting set, on a movie set, PETA has to be present. We give animals more fucking rights than fucking humans. We let humans fucking die of heat stroke in jail. Well, they're not there to be comfortable, but they're not there to die. They went into the weekend, but they died of heat stroke in jail. Are you kidding? Fuck me, man. The fucking offices and they're fucking shivering in the offices. They're not on the fucking door. They're like, wait, what? They're like fucking shivering. I'm like, this is fucked up. This is not. That was not a forecast. That was you reciting all the possible weathers it could be. Yeah, like you guys said you used to worship Satan. Isn't it so annoying that like when people are alive, people are like, "Oh fuck that person." They say all these horrible things about them, and as soon as someone dies, they're like, "He was my best friend. He was such a beautiful soul. It is so tragic. Who could have foreseen this? What a tragedy." Yeah, but then you have people who are like the Linkin Park guy who spent a career screaming at the top of his lungs in front of an audience, "I'm suicidal and I just want to die. I'm constantly in mental agony." And people are like, "He's so inspirational. Who could have been unprecedented? Like, who could have foreseen this?" Do you want rose, Alfredo, or bowling? What? The beef. Yeah. What other meat do we have? I think the sausages are too old. That's the most. No, one. And we have three three regular pasta sauce, one rose, one Alfredo. But this one is Italian sausage. Italian sausage, peppers, and onions. Good. No, no, no. No, I'm sure we better like chunk sausage in it or something. Like, what do you think? I'll try to do a pack, but I thinking out the Polish things that you like. Polish sausage or I like the ones that are full of cheese and flowing you out when they fucking pop open. Fucking brutal sausages. Brutal. They make these little jars way too small. Tabernacle. Freak out. Yeah, it's hard to allot your province's money when you don't have a federal budget. Yeah, by hiring AIs and firing all your customer service employees, what could go wrong? I don't know what that means. That's why the hospitals are calling me like a fucking market. They can't decide whether they want to on my arm or my liver. Oh, sounds great. Okay. Good luck. Good luck to you. No way! What? But he drowned. No, it means no. You know what? It's like losing a family member. I'm assuming, sir, you have not lost many family members. Ozzy Osbourne dying, and you say it's like losing a family member is kind of fucking super fucked up here. Like, you know what? The reason that why people liked Ozzy Osbourne so much is we went from Modern Family to the Osbournes, and it was the first time that you saw a family that looks like a real family. Like my family was very much like the Osbournes. I was like a child that's forcing a trucker, but I'm still capable of being respectful around adults and people who don't appreciate vulgar language and shit. And there's time and a place for everything, but Ozzy Osbourne and the Osbourne was the first family to be like, this is a real family. The only thing is they're famous and don't get their children taken away when obviously the parents are struggling with addiction and mental health problems. But if anyone else's family, same did that because they're not able, they would have their kids taken away and they would be put in jail. So, like, it's funny because Ozzy Osbourne was never really a very good singer. Most of it, no, but like, you ever heard Ozzy Osbourne singing without his band? It sounded good, so that's what I'm saying. The guy could barely fucking speak. No, because he had brain damage. Like, and he did so many drugs. Sharon, she was saying that every time she got pregnant and had a kid, he would pass out in the delivery room when they started coming out. Goes, I was passing out because of the blood. I was passing out because I was fucked up. I was high and drunk. That's why I passed out. And, like, she's trying to make it like a nice, humble, like, story, like, on the view. And he's just like totally fucking threw under the bus and was like, no. I didn't pass out because I was like, ew, blood and vaginas, baby birds. It's because I was fucking on drugs. Yeah, for the type of music that his band made, and he didn't just they kept being like they're like, oh, this is like a John Lennon, like Ozzy Osbourne was a Beatles fan, and I don't think he was a Beatles fan. I think he was a John Lennon fan, like most people were back then. And they're like, it's like But when John Lennon died, losing Ozzy Osbourne is like fucking the equivalent of losing John Lennon. I'm like, I don't feel like that's a fair comparison at all. Because for many decades, even though his career was great in his realm, a lot of people said that he was Satan worshiping and it was a live bat that he bit the head off, even though it wasn't even real. They're like, oh, he was famous for this song and this album. I'm like, oh, and also for biting the head off of a bat on stage. Pretty much was what made him famous. They just like slip it in at the end. I'm like, all right, whatever. One more thing that I know nothing about, obviously. I would love to stop talking this book Oh man. So do you want to scramble like tomorrow? Okay. Who's ready to rock? Are you serious? You were born in Scotland. Indeed, I was, laddie. It's not Scottish, that's Irish. Irish people say lad, not Scottish. Oh my god, that's funny. Nope. This. Oh my fucking god, I can't. Oh, I almost fucked up. This chick is honestly this chick is fucking amazing because after Minneapolis, and I watched that for 7 solid days, they were saying it's Antifa because why would people burn down their own stuff? And it's super great.
Yeah, but in Toronto during the G20, the cops fucking went and did chaos agent. And
They said it's Antifa.
Yeah, they said there was the Black Bloc and Antifa, but it was the police burning their own car.
Well, that's what the Catholic Church is doing now to take the heat off of what they did to the natives. They're saying that the natives are mad about the churches and they're setting the churches on fire. and someone has to do something. I'm like, it's not the natives. I don't think the natives give two fucks about the churches because it's a building. And why would they give a shit? And I think the Christian church probably benefits a lot more than the natives would from a church burning down. So.
Making commentary.
Interestingly enough, the ones I've noticed have been making
And?
commentary.
Oh, really?
Making
On to you.
Should not be tearing up our own communities. And then there's been an argument of
this girl's fucking phenomenal.
We should be hitting them in the pocket. We should be focusing on the blackout days where we don't spend money. But you know, I feel like we should do both. And I feel like I support both. And I'll tell you why I support both. I support both because when you have a civil unrest like this, there are three types of people in the streets. There are the protesters, there are the rioters, and there are the looters. The protesters are there because they actually care about what is happening in the community. They want to raise their voices, and they are there strictly to protest. You have the rioters who are angry, who are anarchists, who really just want to shit up, and that's what they're going to do regardless. And then you have the looters. And the looters almost exclusively are just there to do that, to loot. Now, people are like, well, what did you gain? Well, what did you get from looting? I think that as long as we're focusing on the what, we're not focusing on the why. And that's my issue with that. As long as we're focusing on what they're doing, we're not focusing on why they're doing. Some people are like, well, those aren't people who are legitimately angry about what's happening. Those are people who just want to get stuff. Okay, well then, let's go with that. Let's say that's what it is. Let's ask ourselves why in this country in 2020, the financial gap between poor blacks and the rest of the world is at such a distance that people feel like their only hope and only opportunity to get some of the things that we flaunt and flash in front of them all the time is to walk through a broken glass window and get it. But they are so hopeless that getting that Netflix, getting that TV, getting that change, getting that bed, getting that phone, whatever it is that they're going to get is that in that moment when the riots happen and they present an opportunity of looting, that's their only opportunity to get. We need to be questioning that. Why are people that poor? Why are people that broke? Why are people
working for a lifetime career,
that clothing insecure, that they feel like their only shot, that they are shooting their shot by walking through a broken glass window to get what they need. And then people want to talk about, well, there's plenty of people who pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and got it on their own. Why can't they do that? Let me explain to you something about economics in America. I'm so glad that as a child I had an opportunity to spend time at Push where they taught me this. That we must never forget that economics was the reason that black people were brought to this country. We came to do the agricultural work in the South and the textile work in the North.
Thank you very much.
Do you understand that?
You can go now.
That's what we came to do. We came to do the agricultural work in the South and the textile work in the North.
They don't need you to grow food anymore. Now, they can make it in the lab. It looks the same. It tastes the same.
Decided that I wanted to play Monopoly with you, and for 400 rounds of playing Monopoly, I didn't allow you to have any money. I didn't allow you to have anything on the board. I didn't allow for you to have anything. And then we played another 50 rounds of Monopoly, and everything that you gained and you earned while you were playing that round of Monopoly was taken from, that was Tulsa, that was Rosewood. Those are places where we built black economic wealth, where we were self-sufficient, where we owned our stores, where we owned our property, and they burned them to the ground. So that's 450 years. So for 400 rounds of Monopoly, you don't get to play at all. Not only do you not get to play, you have to play on the behalf of the person that you're playing against.
They changed the rules halfway through the game. That's called cheating.
For them, Mark Carney said that word for word. So then for 50 years, you finally get a little bit and you're allowed to play. And every time that they don't like the way that you're playing or that you're catching up, or that you're doing something to be self-sufficient, they burn your game. They burn your cards. They burn your Monopoly money. And then finally at the release and the onset of that, they allow you to play and they say, okay, now you catch up. Now at this point, the only way you're going to catch up in the game is if the person shares the wealth, correct?
They will never
But
do that. They
every
will
time
never
you share
surrender
the
all
wealth,
their
then
fucking
there's
things.
psychological warfare against you to say, oh, you're an equal opportunity hire.
Bullshit.
So if
I
I
work
played
twice as hard
400
and get
rounds
half
of
as
Monopoly
much.
with you, and I had to play and give you every dime that I made,
I can
and
do
then for
any
50
fucking
years,
job. I've never
every
done
time
before.
that
Give
I
me
played,
5 minutes. I'll figure out
and
how
you
to
didn't
fucking
like
do
what I
that job.
did, you got to burn it like they did in Tulsa and like they did in Rosewood. How can you win?
You don't. That's the fucking
How can
fun.
you win?
That's the game.
You can't win.
No.
The game is fixed.
And I'm not
So
doing
when they
it.
say,
I'm
why
not
do you
signing
burn
up for
down your
this.
community? Why do you burn down your own neighborhood? It's not ours. We don't own anything. We don't own anything. Trevor Noah said it so beautifully last night. There's a social contract that if you steal or if I steal, then the person comes in and they fix the situation. But the person who fixes the situation is killing us. So the social contract is broken. And if the social contract is broken, why the f do I give a shit about burning the Football Hall of Fame, about burning the Target? You broke the contract when you killed us in the streets and didn't give a f.
Yeah.
You broke the contract when
But
for
it's not
400
because you're
years
black. It's
we
'cause
played
you're
your
poor.
game and built your wealth. You broke the contract when we built our wealth again on our own, by our bootstraps in Tulsa, and you dropped
And they say
bombs
thank you
on
very
us.
much.
When we built it in Rosewood, and you came in and you slaughtered us.
And you bring in the military. We're expending
You
our
broke
golf
the
course on your
contract. So
graveyard.
your Target.
And we're not after it.
Your Hall of Fame.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, they could burn this bitch to the ground. And it still wouldn't be enough. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and
Natives
not
too.
revenge.
Natives too. Natives just want to be left the fuck alone until we burn shit to the ground so they could be like, we tried to help, we tried to tell you. And we are, oh, that poor fucking girl. That is super, really, really, really great because it's not even because she's black. It's because she's poor. It's because reality starts to kick in. Like, I've done all the right things. I don't do things I'm not supposed to because I know that there's significant consequences, and I just want to do the right thing. And I just want to keep my head down and work hard. And apparently, if you do that, you will prosper the way that everybody else does. But that's not what fucking happens, and I'm not waiting 30, 40 years to find out. It just seems so obvious. Like, but that's what people do when they're gaslighting you. You've done this much this far, and you just have to stick it out a little longer. But the thing, they're never gonna tell you. It's time to panic. We fucked up, and all your stuff is now in jeopardy, and they're never gonna tell you. They're gonna let you find out on your own. That chick should be like in charge of an entire fucking country, because I don't know what's so complicated about everything that girl just said. That people are like, well, obviously people are not. There's that chick that cleans hoarder houses where there's like cockroaches and shit, and she's like, it makes me so upset that people are saying that this is staged, that I stage houses to look like this because it's not possible for somebody to live in that environment. And it's just so that she can get money from the cleaning companies that she uses, or get money for whatever reason that she does this for. And she was like, I don't get paid for this. The only time I get money is when people see what I'm doing for people, and it's not people who are drug addicted hoarders that beat their children. It's a lot of the time people who got sick and they couldn't afford to hire somebody to come clean, and their family members didn't want to fucking touch shit and piss and cockroaches, and it just gets. I do it with dishes all the time. Like, if I don't have my meds, then I let the dishes go for 2 weeks, and eventually it just gets to a point where you go to do dishes and you're so overwhelmed that you don't even know where to start, and you're like, fuck this. Like, and it's just ridiculous that there's people who are like, this is obviously staged. I'm like, there is a good portion of people in my life that has, if it's not like this, it has been worse. Like Fury's mom, that fucking was just, she used to piss on the couch and fucking fall asleep in her own piss. Like, He used to take all the dishes and put them in the bathtub, pour bleach on them, and let them soak in bleach. Fucking, that lady was a fucking pig, man. Top news, really. The first article from CTV News, top news, Epstein accuser said she warned FBI about Donald Trump. Victoria sees drop in overall crime. Well, because it's Victoria. Fucking, when you say that about Vancouver, that's a fucking news story. Like, Victoria, the crime's down in Victoria. Wow, what an accomplishment. And people are like, oh, where do you even get this, like, propaganda or conspiracy theory information? And I'm like, I don't know, like, actual, like, the Market Mania, the British guy who lived in Canada, who was like, oh, I am an expert in the real estate market, like an actual expert, and I'm getting the fuck out of here, and you should too. And he still talks about the Canadian real estate market, but like he's like, this is just getting so much worse for you guys, and I can tell you all about it because I'm not part of it. I got the fuck out of there. Or the thanks for clicking, that guy. I'm like, I don't know. He seems to know what the fuck he's talking about, and not anything you hear on the radio or the news or your Twitter or your TikTok, whatever. Like,
They serve AI makes solving tickets my form of meditation.
I hate the human race right now.
That said, it puts the onus on government. We have to be ultra competitive as a country, and those have been some of the conversations that premiers have been having. We have to find other ways to make the case for Canada if we're going to be in a permanently tariff scenario.
Canadians have found a new thing to be proud of amidst this Canada strong and free sovereignty, elbows to the sky, baby moment that we have been having. And all I can say is yikes. On that note, though, something many of us were once called radicals and liars over has turned out to be completely true. It's actually something I have been fact-checked over a number of times on social media. Yeah, karma really sucks for those people, doesn't it? I'm Jasmine Lane. Subscribe, follow, like, comment your thoughts down below. And
you know what? I'm really proud of my response to when Jesse was saying that. He's like, oh, I'm on the French people's side because they had it bad. I'm like, you know what? The English should have fucking finished what they started when they came back to eradicate the French people, because they were spreading diseases, they were fucking inbreeding, they were having sex with their own fucking children, like, and they came back to fucking eradicate the rest of the French people here, and they said that the natives helped them fight off the English, arresting and murdering their husbands, fucking taking their kids away and putting them in fucking group homes where they get beaten and fucking raped by fucking Christian priests. Like, that's not exactly a fucking choice, is it? So no, I don't think the natives helped the French when the English came back to fucking eradicate them. They should have fucking finished what they started, because they've doomed us all. And you know what? Anyone who wants to argue with me about the fact that it's all Quebec. The Expo 67 was supposed to set up our economy so that we could have all prospered, but Quebec does what Quebec does.
Because I'm a French, and they would have killed me.
Yeah, but you're one of the important French people who is like, I'm French, you have a fleur-de-lis tattooed on you. But even you can be like, this is nothing to do with the language. Because that's what all these problems are. They don't have to do with language. They don't have to do with race. They have to do with your economic status. Like, and you know what? I told him, I was like, yeah, it's probably really easy to side with the French. And it probably sounds like I am like an apocalyptic conspiracy theorist. But you know what I told him? I was like, it's a lot easier to say that to somebody when you have money in the bank and you don't have to go out trying to find a job. Because you know what? That's why I'm surprised the natives even bother to hire me. Why would they even bother trying to fucking deal with the white people at this point? But they fucking actually pay me what they owe me. They say that you're going to get this much, you do the work, and they pay me at the end of the day. That's all I'm fucking asking for. Not the sun and the fucking moon. Like, I'm very confident and very capable. I can do literally any job. And the fact that I can't get work because they look at my name on a CV and I have an English fucking name and they throw my CV in the trash. Like, that's the reality of being English and living here among the French people. They make it impossible. I thought I'm not good at French. Maybe I just don't get French. That's the point. Because they don't teach you French, they teach you Parisian. So you cannot communicate. As it turns out, I'm not bad at French. I'm not bad at history. I'm not even bad at math. I'm really good at math. But apparently, I was beyond fucking even trying to bother teach from people who are professional educators.
This video, lots of epic self-owns today. Mic drops from Danielle Smith, Pierre Poilievre, and politicians, admitting that they are, in fact, the problem while trying to blame everybody else for it. But joke's on them. We see right through you. All that and more coming up today on Over Opinionated.
Our new federal major projects office will be open by Labor Day, providing a single point of contact for governments, proponents, and communities for proposals. With that is this shift in attitude of the federal government towards major new projects from why to how. Why build to how to build and how to work together in order to build.
I'm sorry, what? That's a major new shift in government thinking.
Yeah, not so tough anymore.
Really? Yikes. Alrighty. Well, Pierre Poilievre writes, Mark Carney is breaking his promise to get projects done fast. Still, no list, just more talk. While we give away our resources at a discount and become more dependent on the U.S., the Liberal government stands in the way of getting things built. We can't wait for every project to go through Carney's thick political filter. We need an open economy where business can get the
What? That was a burp? Oh, because you're hungry.
Green light for go ahead. I can't help but laugh because it's better than crying. The fact that so many other provincial leaders get this, so many other people get this.
They knew.
And it's the Liberals and the NDP who don't, who are not coming to the table at all. And I can't even be disappointed by, those other people who are not coming to the table, who aren't solely based on not the country, not the people of which they swore an oath to serve and to take care of and to do what's in the best interest for, but because of their own ideology, their own activism, their own moral virtue signaling. Well, you can't really virtue signal too much when you are in as much debt as we are, because eventually the truth does in fact need to be told, which we're going to get to in a second here. But just have a listen to David Eby on why he's not on board with everybody else.
Well, I mean, let's look at what's happening in BC's north around energy. We have the first shipment of LNG from BC's coast. It will make a material difference in Canada's GDP, the largest private sector investment in Canadian history. The proponents are looking at a second phase right now. In terms of traditional energy projects, we also have Cedar LNG and Ksi Lisims LNG that are reaching final investment decision or are in construction. So there are major energy projects that are happening that will also benefit Alberta in BC's north. For the pipeline project that Premier Smith is a great enthusiast of, a heavy oil pipeline project, there's no project, there's no proponent, there's no private sector money involved at all that I'm aware of.
Great.
When Premier Smith crosses those obvious hurdles to get a project done, then let's have those conversations. But to be blunt, we have major projects that are moving ahead, and that's where our focus is.
But would it be easier to find an investor if the BC government were open to actually letting that pipeline go to the BC Northern Coast?
Oh, the one we sold to
Well,
Putin,
we own
and now we
a
buy
heavy
that
oil pipeline right now as
propane from
Canadians,
him.
that goes to the
Because we
BC
wanted to be
coast as a Trans Mountain
environmentally
Pipeline
friendly.
project. It's up for sale. The federal government can't sell it. The major pipeline proponents that one would
Russia,
expect to be
Putin.
participating in the north are not. And so I think there's a reason for that. I think there's other
Putin?
interest around investment
You
in
mean
British Columbia
Putin?
and Alberta. We're supportive if Premier Smith can cross that hurdle of identifying a proponent and an actual project, then let's have that
Please.
conversation. But in the
Say
meantime,
it.
we're encouraging the federal government and for ourselves, the focus is on projects with proponents that are ready to go, that are through environmental assessment.
Yeah,
And
like
if we do
the
that, we can
pipeline
deliver
that
some
you
really
guys
big projects for
gave to
Canada.
Putin,
BC
and
will
we
be the
now
economic
buy
engine,
that
frankly,
gas from him.
of the new economy that we're building here in Canada because of our port access to markets, the resources we have, and we're going to facilitate access for other provinces too, to get to those markets just as we always have.
It is really interesting to just try to untwist that pretzel that he got himself into there, where he admits, yes, BC is incredibly important for the economic growth and development of Canada's future. But yeah, we're not going to be doing any pipelines, even though LNG, the largest Canadian investment or private investment, in Canadian history, is also a pipeline of sorts. So that is probably the most hypocritical portion of David Eby's statement. And it makes you wonder, why is LNG totally fine to build, but oil isn't? Well, that's quite simple. It's
Crude oil.
actually just politics. There's
Yeah.
no actual
Because
reason
crude
why
oil
one is
sounds
superior
bad.
to the other outside of ideology
Propane
and
is
activism
still
and government
gas.
lobbying, of which has been quite successful in British Columbia on a variety of different fronts, if you've been following along. Oil is very much demonized by the progressive base. Natural
it has to
gas,
go
despite
through
it
a
being
refinery
a
process.
fossil fuel, gets a greenwashed pass because it's brand.
No, it's okay because you're an Albertan or Calgarian or whatever. You're an oil monger a little bit. So because crude oil is different than other gases, and it's what people think of when we hear mining any kind of gas, any kind of fossil fuel. Because propane is a fossil fuel, crude oil is a fossil fuel, but crude oil has to go through a refinery process, and the stations to pull crude oil out of the ground in Alberta is a lot to set up. And when they're done, when they fucking dry up that oil rig, they leave it there and they go build another one because it's not worth the amount of money it would cost to dismantle an oil rig and then go put that oil rig somewhere else. So crude oil is super damaging when not done correctly. It's a super long process that can be fucked up in many stages, whereas propane gas can be put underground, it can be put in the ocean, and when there are leaks, it is a lot less permanent damage that's done. But when people say gas and oil, and Trudeau went so hard with the clean energy thing that he literally just fucked up any potential of, in the future when he's gone, us going back to supporting ourselves with fossil fuels. Because that's basically what Alberta does, and that's why I knew Danielle Smith was going to fuck up eventually, because she likes to be part of the big boys, and she can play with the big boys. She said too much. She made a joke about Quebec, and what if Alberta wants to separate? Quebec usually goes, well, fucking Alberta can't separate until Quebec separates first. That's not what they did this time. They said, no, Alberta should absolutely separate if they want to separate, which I also did not think they would do. But Danielle Smith put her fucking foot in her fucking mouth. And now they're like, okay, so let's be serious about Alberta separating. It is fucking anti-Canadian. It is saying you no longer have faith in your country getting better, and your country's fucked, and you want to separate. It is anti-fucking Canadian. And you know what? Just because you have all the money in Canada, and now you want to fuck us all over? Really? Like, you're gonna fucking abandon the rest of Canada? That's basically what they did with fucking, when the FLQ started fucking doing terrorism here. And the government was, like, not dealing with it because they're part of it. Like, and all the people in Quebec ran away to Toronto because they were like, fuck this. So, like, Keith's father was able to leave Quebec and go to Toronto. Some of us, unfortunately, were stuck here. to have to deal with the aftermath of this. Like, and now it's like, it didn't even happen. And it's not affecting fucking what's happening now. Fucking horse shit, honestly. Fucking telling me it's all in my head.
And
or
it
I'm
as
just
a
incompetent.
transition fuel, a green alternative.
Yep.
But let's be incredibly clear, without Coastal GasLink, LNG Canada wouldn't even exist. It simply wouldn't. So Eby wants to celebrate the LNG investment in his province while opposing the infrastructure that made it possible.
But we cannot achieve our shared provincial goals.
Yeah,
without
because you guys
cooperation
built
from the
it through a
federal
native
government.
reserve.
Alberta
and you
knows
said
this,
we heard your complaints.
Saskatchewan knows this,
Now
Ontario
time to
knows
wrap it
this.
up.
And it's time for the federal government to acknowledge it as well. And if Prime Minister Mark Carney doesn't want to work with us, it's not just myself
Does it
and
seem
Scott
like he
Moe
wants
will have to worry about.
cooperate with anybody?
He'll also have to contend with Premier Doug Ford, who has said many times he'll be all over him like an 800-pound gorilla. So it's time to get rid of the bad laws that have harmed Canada's ability to grow the energy sector and other industries such as mining and manufacturing.
You must be
By
an
now, you
anti-Semite.
should all know these bad laws that I speak of quite well. Bill C-69, the oil and gas emissions cap, the tanker ban, the net zero vehicle, and
went
net
really
zero
well, right?
electricity mandates. Removing these anti-resource, anti-development laws will allow Alberta,
What, 'cause you're
Saskatchewan,
female,
and
they're not gonna call
Ontario
you
to
Donald
attract the investment and project partners we need to get shovels in the ground, grow industries, and create jobs.
And wow, is it ever
So they
rich
can get them
hearing
to
Mark
immigrants
Carney
for $3
continue
an
to
hour.
say the regurgitated, copy and pasted lie that is this.
Canadians can be our own best customer. And that's the case, and we can give ourselves far more than anyone
That's $3 an
can
hour
take
to do
away and
slave
control our
labor?
destiny
Really?
together and build.
Andrew Scheer on X writes, Mark Carney wants everyone to forget he was Trudeau's senior economic advisor for the past 10 years. He helped Trudeau all along the way. He kept Trudeau cabinet ministers. He believes in all the same extreme policies of the Liberals. Don't let him off the hook.
Canadians staying home, that's their business. You know, I don't like it, but if that's what they want to do, it's fine. If you want to ban American alcohol, that's fine. There are reasons why the president
None that you can
some of this
explain.
being referred to Canada as being mean and nasty to deal with, okay, because of some of those steps.
And how's that working out?
So, Vashti, what do you make of that? Does it mean that Canada's approach might actually be working?
Oh,
This story and how it's being reported across different platforms is so
great.
fascinating
It's
to
going
me
good.
because
Really
you're
good.
either, taking part in some heroic act of sovereignty or you're in a petty drama trade war episode for a soap opera.
I don't know.
Some headlines say that Canadians are proud to be
Everything's
nasty.
going so great.
What? Why would we ever be proud to be nasty? Others focus on Trump's mean and unpleasant reputation. And a few just talk about the 66% plunge in U.S. alcohol sales, not because people are actively choosing not to buy them in some cases, but because the government has actually removed them from the shelves. This is why I use ground news, because I'm tired of the emotional spin pretending to be journalism in this country. The left frames it as patriotic clapback against Trump's tariffs. The right zeroes in on the nasty insult itself.
You know what? Some people need to learn the hard way. When you run your mouth and can't back it up, eventually you're going to say the wrong thing to the wrong fucking person who's bigger and tougher than you. That is what just happened. You think that you can go toe-to-toe with Trump because you thought you have the fucking Royal British Empire that's going to back you? So did Ukraine. Guess what? They lost. That's why fucking Volodymyr Zelensky was so confident in fucking running his mouth because the fucking UK said we would back you up. Don't worry about it. It'll all work out. And don't worry, we got your back. Guess what? You fucking lost. You went up against Donald Trump and you fucking want to run your mouth, be fucking tough shit. You did it to someone who's fucking tougher than you and knows how to do the fucking job. Maybe not always the right way, but at least he gets it done. What happens when you go wah wah wah? He's bullying rather than, I don't know, doing your fucking job. Then you go, oh, don't worry about it. We're changing the rules of the game. That is the definition of cheating. Milk with it? Yeah.
Ignoring the boycott's impact, and the center is just running the numbers, travel down, booze sales down, all that stuff. Everybody's kind of mad. Here's the real problem. If you're only reading from one side, you're missing an entire other side of the story. And Ground News lets you see every single angle, left, right, center, and compare it to how differently they cover the exact same event and some information. Plus, their blind spot feature shows you the stories your bubble isn't even seeing, because sometimes it's not about what they say, it's about what they don't want you to hear. If you want the truth without the drama, go to ground.news/Jasmine to get 40% off their Vantage plan, or you can scan the QR code on screen. That's ground.news/Jasmine for 40% off their Vantage plan, and the link is in the description of this video. Because sometimes being nasty just means being informed.
I'm not sure. Again, I would say a couple of things, my observations upon listening to that audio. And I'd point out a few months ago, we ambassador on Power Play, and right after the interview, he actually made very major irritant for the Trump administration that some Canadian provinces, and then ended up being some of them, banned American alcohol. That I think we thought was justified, and understandably so, given the targeting of Canada by Donald Trump. And we thought it would get headlines in the United States, and ultimately that's what it did.
Oh yeah, the
However,
Americans are
it
suffering
was taken very poorly by the Trump administration. That's the point the ambassador made a few months ago and then yesterday. And I understand Canadians' impulse to kind of dismiss that and say, well, you're kind of asking for it. Look what you've done to, you know, your friends and allies in Canada, the way in which he spoke about us, or that he referenced us as the 51st state. I do think, though, ultimately, when we're focused on the next 10 days, comments like that and the fact that this stuff is an irritant to the president might actually prove to be something substantial that we should keep our eye on. Like, it's not beneath Trump for a small thing to derail an entire relationship with another country, or an entire trade agreement with another country, as will be the case over the next 10 days here. I'm not saying that will happen, but I think, you know, our inclination is to be like, oh gosh, here we go. They're just spouting off again. And that may be the case, but it also may be the case that what they spout off on and what they are kind of transparent about in this instance is something that does have a tangible impact on the negotiations.
You're telling people
and
what they're
ultimately
saying is
if
not
we are
real.
able to arrive
And don't
at an
believe what
agreement
you're
with the
seeing.
United States or not. So it is not nothing.
Vashi Kapelos is spot on there, because at the end of the day, no matter how silly you may or may not think this is, it is significant. It does mean something. And the thing that it means the most is diplomacy. Diplomacy.
Means we're fucked.
Yeah. Canada has had terrible diplomacy, not just with the United States, but several other nations as well. And not
But that's
only
your
have
job
we
as
been nasty to
politician.
the United
Otherwise, I
States
would
for
do it
many
my fucking
years, because
self.
the Trudeau government never expected Trump would become president again. That's why they felt so confident to call him every name in the book, to paint conservatives as MAGAs. So dumb. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. But they've also been rather nasty to their own people.
And this is
Congratulations, you're spending more money on taxes than on food, clothing, and shelter combined. That is the finding of the Fraser Institute's July 22nd, 2025 report.
And let's say wishful thinking that Mark Carney ends up getting just a flow of all these new national building
Don't worry about
projects.
it. It seems
I don't
bad,
know
but they have
why.
a plan
I just
and
have this
it'll work
sneaking
out. You don't need to
suspicion
worry
that
about it.
even if they push some of those projects ahead and, you know, they limit it to 2 years approval rate, Yeah, we're still unbelievably screwed for 2 years.
He would demonstrate his great support if he would repeal or substantially revise the 9 bad laws that are impacting our investment climate. He hasn't done that yet, but as I've said, we're giving him some time to get into the role. He's got a new legislative session starting up in September, and we'll have a better idea of what kind of revisions he's going to make then.
So
He doesn't know what he's gonna
Vashi,
do when
is
he
that
owns
likely
the
to
bank?
happen? Oh, another good question, Renee. I'm not sure is the honest truth, and that is because the legislation
You
that
know
she's
what?
referencing, for example, bills.
This is my favorite part of news now. When you have a 5-minute introduction, this person is an expert, certified professional of this specific thing, and they ask their first question, and they go, I don't know. Like, is it because you don't know, or is it nobody knows? Why are you talking then as the expert for this specific subject? And all they say,
Smell like bird.
what?
Something smells like plastic burning.
No. Nothing's burning?
No?
No.
Well, it smells like burnt plastic.
Yeah, but nothing's burning.
But it smells like burnt plastic.
Apparently, I can just go around being like, I'm an expert. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I've never practiced medicine, but I have a special piece of paper that says I'm a doctor and you can trust me. Everything you know about medicine is wrong. Are you a doctor? No? Well, take this mystery medicine and put it into your body because I told you to and it's going to be good for you. Trust me. I can't tell you what it is. Can't tell you what's going to happen, but trust me, it's for the best. And then drugs that you say are not good, even though they make me feel better, makes me a menace and a danger to society. I guess. Maybe I just need to find Jesus. Jesus! Especially because it's Vashi Kapelos, who's apparently the only fucking reporter in all of Canada with any fucking actual journalistic integrity. Like, only her, really? Because she's kind of fucking really annoying. And punch her right in her fucking twat face.
C-69, which was the piece of legislation or the law that overhauled the approval process, for big projects like a pipeline. That was a marquee piece of legislation for the previous government. During the election campaign, the now Prime Minister indicated that he would stand by the legislation. In an interview I did with him not long after the election, he conceded that actually he would entertain, if it was necessary, shelving that piece of legislation. Now, we haven't seen anything introduced to repeal it, or the tanker ban, for example, in British Columbia. Another thing that Premier Danielle Smith is asking for there. Additionally, as I referenced in my last answer, big question marks heading into the fall legislative session. They are in particular irritants between Saskatchewan, Alberta, and the federal government. Would classify them as less of an irritant that you might have seen between those previous federal government under Justin Trudeau. Right now, at least, Danielle Smith and Scott Moe are giving Mark Carney more of a benefit of the doubt than they were willing to give Justin Trudeau. How long that lasts remains to be seen.
And the reason why there's no investors isn't because people don't want to invest in Canada. Well, I mean, that might be the case nowadays. Again, thanks to liberal policies, as Danielle Smith outlined, but because the government killed the business case. Case in point, TMX. And to have David Eby say, oh, well, we have TMX and nobody wants to buy it. That is because the government had to buy TMX because they made it unbuildable. Yep. No private buyer would want to touch that thing unless it was heavily subsidized or offloaded at a massive cost, which given how much the cost exploded when the government took over, due to their own bureaucracy and planning and duration and how everything takes forever to happen inside of this country, that
because Quebec does not get everything they demand. Nobody gets anything.
Would anybody with a brain go from a $4 billion
it's not about your brain, it's about your fucking wallet, or like you guys say pocket.
That's absurd. No wonder why nobody's buying it. Do you want to know why it costs that much? Oh yeah, the government. And owning the TMX.
No, we can do it all here
politically
ourselves.
radioactive. That's the best way that I could put that. Investors
We'll
are scared
we'll
of
pay
the
our
backlash
citizens
from
$3 an hour. Don't
activists
worry.
and protesters
slave labor.
and new taxes, all of which
You
are
fucking
heavily
tell them the
prevalent in
fucking you're not a
Canada's
girl,
business
you're a
sector,
boy,
not
and
to
you fucking
mention
get
the
union
liberals
called
and
on you for
NDP's
fucking
willingness
disrespecting their
to
fucking
bend the
gender
knee
identity.
to
What does that
those
have to do with your
activists
fucking
and
job?
the pressure that they put on. So who's running the government here?
So you know, our government's going to get, I guess, the hell out of the way. Is my question, because there's no excuse. This country should be wealthy, and we should be rich.
The Jews own everything.
You have to stop stopping and start starting. I think we laid out some of the ideas on how we're going to do that, but you're right. We just have to get government out of the way. I asked a businessman in Toronto the other day, what do we need to do to make your business grow? And he said, grant permission. That's it. I don't need a handout. I don't need a subsidy. The only thing that stops me from building the stuff I want to build is I don't have permission to do it.
Oh, and
Stuff
language
he wants to
laws,
build
and the
is
fact that I
obviously
can't have my business open when
commercial
I
real
want
estate.
to.
Same
Because,
resources.
well, there's not enough
the second
demand, and there wouldn't be any
slowest
profit.
building
I'm like, can I find that
All
out
of
the hard way for
the
myself at
agencies.
least? No.
It takes 3 times longer to get a building permit in Canada than it does in the US.
They don't want you to have successful
We
businesses.
could get the government the hell out of the way. We could get building. We
And
would be
I'm
the
fucking done taking
And let's not mince words here,
subpar
okay?
businesses,
The
putting
new
all my
economy,
fucking energy
the
into
one
it
Canadian
for them to
economy,
fucking
that
make their
David Eby promotes,
business go
that
from
Mark Carney
$7,000
promotes, that everybody who's
averaging
liberal
to
and NDP
$20,000
seems to stand
and
behind
streamlined. That's for sure
wholeheartedly
money
without actually
that you
recognizing
get
what it is
every
that they are
fucking week.
promoting is not
And they
an
go, thanks a
economy
lot.
that's revenue
Like,
generating.
we'll take it from here where your
Obviously.
services are no
It
longer
is a
needed.
subsidy-based
No more.
economy
Not doing that again.
where ideological projects will get pushed through, like the EV market, despite the
And it
fact that
starts
it's
off,
going
I'm just trying to make my job easier
Because
by fucking making my
Why?
job
It's
fucking
not for the greater good of us. our
not as
country, our
difficult.
prosperity. No,
And
it
I
is an
fucking turn
economy that
shitty
is
failing
reliant
businesses
on
into
federal
profitable
money,
streamlined
filled
businesses so
with
you can move on to
green
make
tech
money
pipe
somewhere
dreams
else.
that are proven to fail, proven not to work, proven not to increase your economy. Take a look at the UK. Take a look at Germany as an
The UK
example.
is the Great Royal
All
British Empire,
while
and they will
ignoring
always be fine.
the actual industries that are paying the bills. The actual
We are the
industries that
outposts
are
for
the
the UK.
backbone behind how and why
Like,
any of those activist fueled
if we had actually followed through with the Expo 67, we would have been like America, and we would have been independent, and we could have fucking done what America did and break off from the Great Royal British Empire and been self-sustaining. But because Quebec fucking literally ruined
even if the sectoral
everything.
tariffs will completely go away, Canada's still in a better
It's
position
not
with the
fair
US
to
relative
French
to
people.
everybody
Yeah,
else.
okay. So now
But
it's not
those
fair for anybody.
sectoral,
Great.
those sectors that are hit, like yours, that's pretty full of comfort. I mean, what's your mood with 10 days to go on this?
Yeah, look, of course it's good to be in a relatively better position than other countries, but at the end of the day, when you have investment that comes into the Canadian market, you are sending product to the U.S. and therefore you're competing with U.S. goods.
Why
So if we
bother
have
watching
permanent
this? These are
tariffs that
literally
make it
people that literally
uncompetitive to
get
build
paid by the
cars and
same
ship them
boss
to
who
the
are going
States,
back and
that is a
forth trying to be
problem
like,
long-term
no,
for the
no, no,
industry.
we're here
That
to
said, it puts the onus on
listen to the
government.
benefit of
We
the
have to
doubt.
be ultra competitive as a
fuck
country.
out of my
Those
face
have been
with
some of the
this.
conversations that premiers have been having. We have to find other ways to make the case for
No, you
Canada
guys literally
if
are
we're going to be
constantly
in a
shitting on
permanently
other
tariff
premiers,
scenario.
saying
Well,
how
I think to your
stupid and
point that
useless they
it's
are.
up to government to help find a way to make things competitive. Like we saw General Motors recently announced $4 billion to invest in expansion in the U.S., partly because of the tariffs, right? So this speaks to the challenge that exists there.
And
What
now
can
we're
County
talking
and the
about
Premiers
banning
do
the
to
cars.
offset
That's
something
what
like
the
this?
trucker protest
The most
actually was
important thing
about.
right now is to
70%
get rid
of the
federal
truckers at that
EV mandate,
protest
which I know
were
we've talked about
vaccinated.
a few times,
They were.
but
They
this
may have
is having a
started
direct
off
impact on the
protesting
industry
vaccine
today.
mandates, but
Auto
that's not what it
manufacturers
ended
that
up
build
being. Because
cars
the
here,
more that they
like
protested
Canadians, are being
and
forced
were
to buy
doing it
credits
right, the
to
more
restrict for
angry
sale
the
gas-powered
government
vehicles in this
got
country, all
because
to
they
hit
blocked
arbitrary
the
sales
Chicago
targets, which should
border,
not be
where all
inflicted
these
that sort of
cars are
damage on the
coming through,
industry,
which is
and we're
why
dealing
I'm
with
so
a much
very
bigger challenge,
concerned
which is this
about
tariff
these
situation
mystery
and the threat that
parking
the
lots
Americans are posing.
that are shielded by
persists. There's still a
freight
competitive
train
disadvantage
fucking
there.
cargo, and
The reality
they
is
are
no
not.
amount of government support will offset access to the world's largest automotive market. There is no such thing as diversifying our industry.
But you
away to
guys
other
are talking
markets.
about
We have
banning
to find
combustible
some sort
cars
of
by
mutually
2030.
beneficial solution to this ongoing
What the
tariff
fuck are all
challenge
these
so that
cars
the
there
industry
for
can
then?
continue to thrive. If we don't have that, the case for building in Canada becomes extremely challenging.
I really would like to break down and pick apart
No,
all of
because
the
they don't want
details in
you to
that
do it.
shocking
They
Fraser
don't want
Institute
me to
report
do
that
it.
Pierre
They
Poilievre
want me
referenced earlier
to
in
fucking
today's
get you
episode,
to approve
detailing
all of
that
it.
Canadians are indeed
So that they make
paying
sure to
more
get their
for,
piece.
you guessed it, taxes than any other thing that we spend our money on in this country. So we're going to be breaking that down in tomorrow's episode, just to be smart with time, because people complain when the episodes are too long, as
What?
well as the sentencing
don't
hearing
watch
for
them.
the Freedom Convoy organizers, which is taking place today. A verdict should be out today, shortly,
7 years.
ideally, but it does sound like the court case was off to a delayed start earlier by at least
For
an hour or
mischief.
more. So I was hoping
I don't
there would
even
be
know when
something I
mischief
could update
became
you
a
with
fucking
before I wrapped
crime.
up filming.
Because there's no
Unfortunately,
definition
there
of
is
what
nothing
mischief
as of
is
right now. So
other
I'll be a little
than
late to
I
it,
feel
but we will definitely
uncomfortable
be
and
digging
I
into
have
that
some
in
kind of
tomorrow's
authority pull.
episode. If you haven't already done so,
You're
and
doing
found
something
some
that I
value
don't
in
like,
today's show and want to
is
stay
what
up
mischief
to date
amounts
on
to.
what's really going on,
And you can put someone in
Canadian
7
politics
years in
in
fucking
Canada
jail
as
for
a
it.
whole, be sure you hit that subscribe button, follow on other platforms as well. Like this video, comment your thoughts down below, and share with anybody.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share. It only grows the channel. Follow me on Insta.
And we are live. Welcome to the Political Orphans. My name is Nico Lagan, and I am your in-house conservative.
I already kind of
To my
like you.
left, normally Rob Ambrose, our token liberal, but for some reason, he's not here right now. We are the bold new voice of independent media.
I already am
where
fucking
left
buying what
meets
you're selling.
right.
How
Or
we're
very
in.
simple,
We're 20.
challenge
We're
the
30
narrative,
seconds into this video, and I'm
reject
already
political
fucking into
biases,
this.
and tackle the topics mainstream media will not
Are you
touch.
French? Yeah,
Now,
he's
if you're
French.
new to
He's
the
a
show,
Quebecer.
yes, we do record for 2 hours every single day.
Wow.
And if you're looking for a specific topic, just look at the bottom of your screen. Everything will be segmented
Wow.
per topic.
Oh
so
my
that you can
God, like
find
real
it
news?
easier. But the point of the matter is that we record for 2 hours because we do take a lot of comments. So if you really want to be part of the show, make sure to join us live
Subscribe.
noon Eastern,
All
Monday to
notifications.
Friday.
No.
For
All
those lights stay in
notifications.
French.
Like your
She
video.
explained,
Of course.
Oh, wow.
and fighting for.
Wow, this is like
at the
2
Superior Court
hours of them
Ottawa, so
talking,
that's at
and they do this
12:30.
every day?
23 Quebec companies are comments. So if you record for 2 hours, so that you can find it easier. But the point of the matter is that
But
we record
I
for 2
like-
hours because we do
It's
take a
because
lot
he
of
sounds
comments.
like
So if you really
you.
want to be part of the show, make sure to join us live noon Eastern, Monday to Friday. Here are the top stories of the day. Statistic Canada reports that $83.9 billion in foreign investment
What?
has left the country in the first 5 months of this year.
And I can't imagine why Trump's America First is so effective, because my country cannot stop giving to everybody else. Motherfucker, what about us? Like,
Jeff Evely is joining us to speak about his case that the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom is fighting for at the Superior Court of Ottawa. So that's at 12:30. 23 Quebec companies $1 million over the temporary foreign worker program because of the new rule changes. Tamara Litz and Chris Barber just posted an update on their case with the federal government. Mandana Javan, the organizer of the protest yesterday at the Dane Church in Montreal, is going to join us at 1:30. And it is claimed that right now, as we speak, our government is going to provide digital ID access. Before we get started, I have an in for Wednesday. David Creighton and I will be going live at 7
No.
to speak about conservative movement in Canada. This is all part of the political effort. We're trying, just as Rob speaks that he wants to change the level I want to do the same for the conservatives. So
Great. This is so Canadian.
I get along. And
This
we
is
can make it
amazingly Canadian.
right now, first episode. on
And for
Wednesday.
someone with borderline personality disorder to be like, there must be a happy medium here. It's a little bit odd for me, out of all people, to be like, there must be a middle ground with people who do that. Like, I am the fucking definition of black or white, extremes of both ends, but even I'd be like, feel like it's the complete opposite of both sides. Ah. Yep.
I really have to readjust my schedule.
You have a newborn and you're still doing this for 2 hours? Wow. Oh my god, a father doing dad stuff. That's so great. And then he still works.
So that's like an hour and a half. 35 minutes for feeding, between getting ready, washing your stuff, eating and preparing all the stuff.
Is he putting on some weight?
You want some more sauce? Can I give you more sauce anyway?
What are you guys doing here?
Legit company. Well, you saw what happened for him. Fucking they dug a hole inside of his house for like a fucking couple months, and even now they fucking came back. They dug a hole in the middle of his lawn now, and then they got a bunch of fucking grass and never came back. Like I really want to ask him, be like, yo, do you need like someone in like I can find somebody who will do whatever work you want and do it better the fuck you got going here because
Kevin bi-week from us a couple times and he never came back.
because he's fucking neighborhood watch. That's like the kids that came to be like, oh, we're window people.
Yeah.
Hey, smoke weed. I think that there were underage kids that they were like, go see if they're gonna sell you seeds that we're gonna sell to anybody. And it's, I don't know. I totally agree. I'm not the fucking weed dispensary. I'm not down for kids smoking. So I'm down to help people out, but I like our neighbors. Our neighbors like me. What?
Who is that fucking buffering?
Putin, I'm telling you. It's Putin. Every time your fucking internet fucks up or your power fucks up, I'm like, that's Putin. That or everything's Donald Trump now.
Hi, Emin. We were at the hospital on Saturday. Well, not at the hospital, but CLSC. Yep. And he's gained something like 200 grams in 4 days.
What the fuck is...
Normally, I think they average 25 grams.
What?
So, yeah, he took like a fifth of a pound in the
Yeah, I
span
think
of 4 days.
I think being born small is not a big issue.
Oh, no.
But they want to see putting on weight pretty quick. So
It's not an issue at all. The
Oh, really?
problem was his glucose level. It's
What?
so small that it's hard for him to regulate.
That's so weird. The French guy that this is the first time I've seen his video. The guy that I just started watching, he's a French guy, and he also just had a premature baby. That's weird.
Newborns need to develop their brain function properly.
Yep.
So he was spending most of his sugar keeping himself warm. So we have to he's always doubled or tripled up in clothes to make sure he's never. It's like 24 degrees. We keep it warm so he doesn't get cold. I'm sweating my ass off because I'm always running warm.
Yeah.
Adaptation, but it's all worth it at the end of the day, right?
Of course. Yeah. So
What a great father you are.
Heard you had to. You want to tell us a little about the weekend there, or do you want to save that for the guests that we have later in the show?
No, we'll talk about it when she's there. But you're referring to Mandana Javan, the
protest, woman who organized the protest.
I don't know how to qualify her protest, so I'm gonna let her explain it. She's just one girl. I spoke to her for 10 minutes yesterday.
Oh my
She's
God.
a clever woman.
A man just being like, oh, a female looks smart.
It's not a religious thing. It is just not a secular thing either. There's
Cool.
nice stay in
Cool.
French. She explained to me the difference yesterday, and
Okay.
it made 100% sense. But she says we're not a secular society. We are a laïc society. I have to find what the definition is in English. But you'll see, she's very clever, very, very, very clever woman. So we have her at 1:30, and we're also talking to Jeff Edley at 12:30, ex-military veteran that was arrested by police for standing guard at the Memorial
Oh,
Monument
yes.
in 2022. So
That's crazy. Because I was going to the fur trade, and people seemed like they were
Superior Court, and he's going to give us an
noticing.
update on that. He's a cool dude. I've recorded.
And it's just because I started taking the river road during COVID to go home because I want to take the long way so I didn't have to go home.
Full of rabbit holes.
And
So
I
you gotta be
noticed there was a
careful
lot
when you
of
drive the conversation. Or else they'll be
going
here
along
for
around the
2
fur
fucking
trade,
hours.
and the more I started going there, the more cars started fucking following me around. And I would drive down, and there would be nobody, and then one day there was one car that would follow me as I went down, and then more cars that would follow. I was like, maybe I'm just fucking paranoid, but. So I know the trucker protest. That's not actually why they're fucking upset.
And it's not part of the surprising. Why don't you give us the numbers there?
Bro, I literally digged into it for at least 2-3 hours this morning.
No shit.
So,
wow. And you
like
still
I
feed your
always
baby
do, I'm
8 times a
gonna
day.
Kind of share my exploration story with
Cool.
this one. It all started on Saturday with a Jasmine Lane post that she made. Basically, what she's saying is that 83.9 billion gone in just 4 months. Foreign investors down Canadian assets. 11.4 billion in stocks sold just in May. They're pulling out fast, and even Canadians are taking their money out of Canada, and guess where they're putting it? In the fucking US. So I started looking at this, and you know how I am. I don't trust what people post. It's always a great place to start, but I don't take it for granted.
Yeah,
So
even if I agree with
doing
what they
some
posted, I
research,
still
and I
can
did
look into
find
it.
The report that she was talking about. It's a report that is posted directly on Statistic Canada's website, and it is named Canada's International Transactions and Securities, May 2025. And there's a few places I want us to talk about, this being the first one. As a result, international transaction and securities generated a net outflow of $16.2 billion from the Canadian economy in May. That's just the month of May. A fourth consecutive month of net outflow, bringing the total to $83.9 billion. So our number is accurate. It is true based on their number. The other place, there's another place, I think it's right here. Is it that place? As a result, yeah, that's the place. So this is another thing that is worth mentioning, is that it also said that Canadian investors increased their exposure to foreign securities by 13.4 billion in May.
I don't even know what that means.
An increase compared with the 4.1 billion investment in April. So basically, Canadian, not only are foreign investors taking their money out of the Canadian economy, but even Canadians are taking their money out.
Putting the money, yeah.
And guess where? In the fucking US.
Chicago.
Yeah, and just for
Chicago.
the sake of mentioning it, I did some research, and from what I can find, this is the largest 5-month divestment in Canadian history.
What?
We've never seen anything like that before. We've had some bad months.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
4 to
But don't
5
worry,
in a row.
everything's fine.
And
It's
it
all
just
part of the
keeps
plan.
on going. This is just me. We don't
It
have
seems
the
that,
numbers.
but don't worry, they got it.
We don't have the numbers, obviously, July.
Yeah, no shit.
So
You guys don't
who's
even have the
to
numbers
say
for the
that
fucking
it's
last
not
year.
Getting
You guys
worse?
have no numbers at
What
all.
was it, just last month?
So
It
it's hard to
was
say how much
something
debt we're in if we don't have any numbers.
Just in the month of May, not last month, but the month of it's it's problematic to say the least.
Shocking.
And people are saying, I don't know if you follow Table Salt on X.
No.
Yes.
I don't go on X or Twitter because I'm fucking going Twitter.
He has a pretty. I don't know if it's questionable or not, but he's pretty bang on when it comes to the economy, as in he posts about it all the time.
Yeah.
And he reports.
Oh my god, an expert that actually does the job?
90%
Wow,
of the
shocking.
money that left Canada has been going to the US.
Well, that's, yeah, I mean, that's not entirely surprising. The thing is, these are.
Because
for the
you were
most
born and
part,
raised here.
these
You're
are
like, yeah,
people
sounds
who
about
have
right.
a finger on the pulse of the economy, both ours and Americans. And and the one reason
People
why
who
like,
can afford to leave are leaving,
capital
just like
flow
they did
money
last
flow
time.
is
20
so,
years ago, they did the same thing.
such an important signal is because there's no virtue.
They come here,
signal
they use our
when it
school.
comes
I can't get into
to-
school
right?
because my marks are too high.
All that
It's not
shit's
political.
No, all that shit's off at the fucking door. Many of those people who are doing that, I have no doubt, in public, are elbows up and
Behind closed doors.
When it comes to their money, there's no virtue signaling. There's no politics. People only care about returns, period, and that's
Yeah,
why. It's
and
such
they'll
a
say whatever they have
remarkable
to keep their fucking
and
multiple
it's
homes
not-
or multiple cars
you don't even
going on
need to
vacation
really-
every year.
Finance.
Don't worry, you'll get
yours.
yours.
Complex.
You're gonna be in the same boat as me.
This is just the people who understand money and finance the best know that Canada right now is not a good bet. Period. And we're not a good bet because we're being governed by people who do virtue signal, people who are not
Who don't live
worried
here.
about the economy,
Who
by a
don't
government
live
who
here.
focus
And if they
on-
do, it's only for a few
who
months of
wants
the year,
make
which is
resource
like
extraction
now.
morality play when
During
it's
Grand
not.
Prix.
It's an economic play.
And they
Of
go
course,
home.
you should be extracting resources in a responsible way and being sure, like, to do it as cleanly and as least destructive to the environment as possible. But it's not immoral to pump oil from the ground. It's not immoral to dig titanium, aluminum, gold, diamonds.
Yeah, but they
out
don't
of
get their
the ground.
fucking.
That's our wealth. That's our
They're
right.
the ones who decide how much money you make and how much they get out of what you make.
Resource extraction of a moral case. We have got a prime minister who is making.
What you're seeing is not
he-
what is actually
he's
happening,
saying
apparently.
He wants to make climate change agenda a cornerstone of every economic decision. And the people who are the money masters are going to look at it and be like, oh, okay, sweet, thanks for letting us know. Fucking call the broker, sell everything you can in Canada, buy everything you can in America. Because like Trump or hate him, he is his mindset is better for business, better for the economy.
Do you want your sandwich toasted or not?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, well maybe I get up with you tomorrow and make it before you go to work. So
I think I'll get up very early tomorrow.
yeah, but I already did the eggs, and I just have to put it in bread then.
Okay.
Because if I do it now, it's gonna sit overnight, and then the bread is gonna get a little bit soggy.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't mind.
No. I usually wake up with you anyway.
You know what's unfortunate, and I was looking for the numbers, but I could not find the numbers per se. But I have some estimates here, and the industries are the hardest hit on foreign money leaving Canada, and even Canadian money leaving Canada is energy and mining. Obviously, 28% of so
That's
numbers
not
are-
a coincidence. Not a coincidence.
but the numbers I'm going to give you right now is not a specific to the almost $90 billion that left. It's just where is foreign investors investing their money in Canada. In 28% of the times, it is in energy and mining, 22% manufacturing, 32% management of companies, and 15% finance and insurance. So energy and mining.
Oh, insurance.
Energy,
What a
mining,
fucking
and-
scam you
and,
are.
what was the third one? Manufacturing, which is
The
almost
second one's manufacturing. It's cars. is-
That's when they say manufacturing, that's automobiles, auto
course.
What?
I would say of the manufacturing sector, probably 70 or 80% of it.
What?
Is the automotive sector. Yep. And those big things.
No fucking
mining,
way. That can't be fucking true.
Of the manufacturing sector, which is
Second one's it's cars.
cars. Yeah,
is-
when they say manufacturing, that's what they mean. Automobiles, auto
course.
cars.
Really? Okay.
I would say of the manufacturing sector, probably 70 or 80% of it is the automotive sector. And those three things, mining, sort of mineral, automobile, those are the three sectors that are just getting crushed by the Carney government. Some of it's not necessarily involved. And I'm saying that with the benefit. Like I'm giving real better because we don't know what would have happened, you know, what Trump would have done if he hadn't all this elbow stuff. Maybe he would have handled it. Yeah, exactly, right? And it couldn't have been any worse, put it that way. But yeah, like the way Carney went about making Southern America into Canada's enemy for political gains here domestically. Yep. He's full of himself. If he thinks the Americans.
Yeah, but he has no repercussions for this. Whoopsie. But I don't have to live here to fucking see the repercussions of what I just did.
If he thinks that.
But he's the bank guy.
So like I said,
Trust him.
It's very debatable whether Carney has any responsibility for the tariffs. But just really running with him that benefit of the doubt. Let's just say that's not his fault. Again.
Nothing's anybody's fault
Clear
anymore.
at all, but one thing that's definitely his fault.
It's their fault. He said, she said, he did, she did.
Centering climate change in all of our economic decisions. It is leaving Bill C-69 intact. It is pandering to indigenous people who just are anti-development. Period. Yeah, it's all those.
Yeah, because they go, we want to hear your concerns, and then they just say, okay, well, we heard your concerns, wrap it up, because we're going to do it anyway. So.
Should we take a couple
before we do, there's a couple of things worth mentioning. First and foremost, the 90% that table salt and others have posted has not been proven. From the numbers I could find, if we judge by the 2024 patterns, we estimate about 50 to 70% of them made it to the US. But there would be a 50 to 30% that would have ended up in Europe, Caribbean, and Asia.
Or in the parking lot in a yard down the street.
Start telling me that it's not Mark Carney's fault. The numbers I provided, the 81, let's call it the $90 billion, was from January to May. But if you remember, he became prime minister on March 14th. He was elected on April 28th. And since he took office, so since March 14th, $49.6 billion of that 89 is directly under his management. So
guess what? I solved the mystery. I found out where all that money went. Down the street. All the cars at the end of the street that they're hiding behind fucking shipping containers. It's a wall of shipping containers that doesn't move. And behind that is all the cars that he's just talking about right now. Good to know.
That was released 2 weeks ago. It indicated that his investment, 91 to 92% of his investments were in the US. And Canada, the Canadian companies that he has investments with represent 0.5% of his portfolio. Just putting it out there. So the guy that manages our country knows better than to invest his money in Canada.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's what people say publicly, and a lot of that is bullshit because of politics, because of
because they don't want to lose their career,
virtue signaling, and what's
and they want to fucking send their kids to private school.
But when it comes to money,
and we just need a vacation this year. It's been a hard year for our family.
And if you just follow money flows, you're going to be much more informed about how people actually feel about a lot of things.
Yeah, but the people who are saying this are the ones making that money.
Man, it's definitely.
I'm not paying insurance anymore. I'm not paying car insurance. I'm not paying employment insurance. I'll work for the natives. It could mean that tomorrow I'll lose my job because one of their family members need a job and say love you. At least they fucking pay me and don't fucking take my money. Say, don't worry, we'll hold on to it and put it over here for you. In case anything fucking bad happens. Guess what?
Our Mark Carney himself.
And money disappeared when something bad happened.
Yeah.
Not right there to tell you. This tells me everything I need to know about investing money in Canada because that guy doesn't care about politics. When it comes to investing his money,
because they don't get repercussions. They fuck up, and they go, whoops, sorry.
At the end of the day, he wants to make money. he don't give a
Yeah,
fuck
because they get away with
if
it with no
needs to
consequence.
be
So why would they stop
invested
doing
in
it?
Indonesia somewhere because there's a new type of sandals. They're gonna change the fucking world. He does not give a fuck.
Big sandal.
Indeed.
Big sandal. There's a pair of sandal.
So if you are not born into a family of money that can financially support you at this point, you are also fucked.
Nothing can rival Crocs. Nothing.
Hello.
New Dog Production says steel and aluminum from Canada is moving to Pennsylvania thanks to a $2 billion investment secured by Trump. Yeah, I mean it's a game, it's competition.
It's your job.
Companies.
It's your job, which is why you get paid $300,000 a fucking year to not actually ever do a fucking hard day work ever in your life.
That's one thing we need to be very careful about here in Canada because the U.S. is just next door. Canada's probably more competitive compared to most European countries, but we're not really competing with many European companies because they're over there. You're not going to come over here. But for us, it's very easy, especially the vast majority of Canadian manufacturing is right on the border, right, Southern Ontario. It's literally a hop, skip, and a jump away.
10 points awarded to me.
A hop, skip, and a jump away. That's right. I gave you 15 points.
I feel so Canadian right now.
When they say manufacturing, that means cars. We are the _1 importing manufacturing cars. They apparently just lost $300 million in Quebec from cars that never made it to their destination. Now, isn't that fucking interesting? Isn't it just like so perfectly ironic that the day that I'm like, hey, I wonder what's over there. Let's check Google Maps. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it just so happens that I find this channel that is like, hey, we lost $300 million of cars in Quebec out of 83 billion. 300 million never made it.
But they're all there.
What, they went somewhere? I think I solved the big mystery of where, when they say manufacturing, that means cars. This is news to me. I did not know this. I solved the big mysteries of where the $300 million of cars went down the fucking street. Like, in a fucking rail yard. Like, fuck off with this. You gotta be fucking kidding.
We can't let ourselves get too Europeanized and start thinking that's the way to go. Maybe that works for them over there, and I don't even think
it does. It does work for them over there. That's why some people were like, "Oh yeah, I got insurance," and they put a new car in my driver the next day. I'm like, "But I've gotten two-way insurance too." That's not what happened. I paid $100 out of pocket. After paying $25,000 fucking dollars for a fucking piece of shit fucking cruise.
The more and more companies are just going to say, "Fuck it, what are we doing here?" And you know, Donald Trump is aggressive. He's going after us.
Oh, but he's not. He's very reasonable. Donald Trump is not aggressive. He's very easy to please. Yes, sir. That's a great idea. Wonderful. I wish I would have thought of that. You're so smart.
We'll give you interest-free financing to build your.
And he goes, I like this guy. He's very easy.
Very enticing to a lot of these companies.
Yeah, because stop pissing and moaning about how much you're getting bullied because you don't want to do your job. Someone called you out.
And then iPhone is like, hey, we're going to invest $500 million in the U.S. to develop or produce our manufacturing of cell phones and devices in the U.S. That's what Trump is doing. And you know,
yeah, because Bill Gates getting fucking garbage from China and being like, aren't I a genius?
An economic genius supposed to save us. Yet, once again, we're going to talk about the ships that they ship to China instead of buying them here. The ship that they shipped. But that was the perfect opportunity to just take some of that $1 billion invested in Canadian company, make 0% loan to those companies so that they can develop manufacturing right here, maybe become competitive. On
this was 60 years ago. This was possible. And you're telling me we're only figuring this out now.
To the Chinese. There's so many ways that he can actually help.
Because I'm not the one who fucked this up.
Like EV mandate being another one.
Like,
talk about
that's so bad. That's so
like, the top 3 manufacturers of cars in Canada, the top 3 CEOs of those manufacturers are like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
And so it seems that it's really, I don't know what it's going to take for the people.
Oh shit, I burnt my toast. I didn't burn my toast. Oh, I didn't actually push it down the first time. I'm so smart. I know so well.
What?
Because when I put toast in the toaster and I'm doing something. No, I just don't push it down right away until I finish the other thing I'm doing. Because sometimes I'll be like, ah, shit, I forgot about it. And I push it down again and I go back to the thing I'm doing and then I burn my toast. But I'm like, oh shit, I forgot my toast, but I didn't push it down the first time. Yeah, I know, right? I know my own fuck up so well. That's what happens when you actually admit when you fuck something up and you actually can fix it. Isn't that crazy? Rather than pointing fucking fingers at everybody else that you, because you fucked something up. What are you doing? What's happening? Your dog's being weird. Your dog looks like he's drunk. So they're hoarding the cars? Is that what's happening? Quebec is hoarding these $300 million of cars? I feel like this is somehow related to the what do you call it, vigilante group, the military vigilante group that they seized all their weapons and shit. I feel like this is something to do with that. And Quebec being like, Alberta is saying that they want to do the separation thing, but when they say it, that's actually a problem. But when Quebec says it, people are just like, yeah. What at this point, when people are like, oh, Quebec wants to separate, I'm kind of like, then go for it. Go ahead. Why would I give a shit about this anymore? Go ahead. Quebec should separate. Because you know what? America will fucking swoop in and take your shit so fast. They're like, well, if Quebec separates, we're keeping our military. The military being Quebec. That's not how this works. When you separate, you fucking surrender your military, your currency, like all your fucking culture. You are surrendering it. Go ahead, go make your own culture. If you think that you guys can fucking make that work, all the power to you. But they know that it never will. And Alberta actually does make all the money for Canada, which is why they're actually scared if Alberta were to ever separate, because Canada would have no fucking bargaining chips left. Like, which is why I'm like, this is all so stupid. Alberta's not going to separate, like, because they can't. Like, they could, but you can't abandon the rest of us. And I know they totally can, because that's what happened in Quebec 20 years or 30 years ago, before I was fucking born. And they're like, no. You ask about it, they're like, oh, it's fucking stupid, you wouldn't understand.
He's saying one thing on one side, and then on the other side does something completely different. That holds up on one side, on the other side is like, fuck you, my money's not staying.
Yeah. Well, that shit doesn't require by CDC or CPD, right?
He was like saying not as I do.
They never make the connection. That's the thing. And you know what? That's the worst part. Even when I look at a Jasmine Lane, she doesn't make those connections either. If I look at
yeah, well, I
well,
think
like
because she has to cater to an audience.
Content creators don't normally make those connections either. And it's unfortunate
because they have
the size of
sponsors.
audience that they have, they should be making those
Because they get threatened to have their money taken away.
surprised if
Unfortunately,
you have a guy that
for them,
will
I'm not monetized. They can ban me for a
And then
month,
you
but
hear-
guess what?
literally
You
heard
can't
from
take any
Instagram
money away
that
from me because
doesn't
this isn't my job and I don't make money off of it.
And then
That's why they don't
turns out
fucking
that
speak up.
Statistic Canada's telling us that the money's leaving
Got you by the
Canada
balls.
to the US. Mark Carney did it. You know that before he became prime minister, he moved most of his money to the US.
Yeah.
And moved
Yep.
a bunch of shit
Yep.
to the US. So
Right before he became
he
prime
is
minister, he moved all his assets to the U.S.
Canada's talking about.
He has he has oil rigs in foreign countries all over the world.
Let's become
But
more
not here.
self-reliant, But as long as we stand up to the big bad orange
Yes,
man,
sir.
okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're saying, politics. Money doesn't have politics. People are gonna invest
No, and
where
rich people
they-
don't
where they-
surrender
where
all
they
their
genuinely-
wealth.
That's where you
That's
see
why
how
they
people
stay
really
rich.
feel, is where they put the money.
Even though they know that they're fucking over other people.
95% of America.
That tells you.
Yeah, it tells you what he really thinks.
Guys, by the way, if you're on that, make sure to like, make sure to
I am
comment,
not
make
on
sure to
X because
share,
I am
and
not a
share the
twat.
stream. But as you see right here at the bottom right of the screen, the conversation's really happening on YouTube. So if you want to be part of the conversation,
I do.
This show what you want to see, make sure to
I really do. Sure, yeah. The closest thing to it is Bashy Capellos is the only fucking journalist in all town with any journalistic integrity. You guys are great. I loved it. Bald, bearded, beautiful bro. I love it. I fucking love it because he did a sexual thing. Honestly, you guys should rename your title Big Bald Beautiful Bro. Okay, I didn't go there. That's my account. I don't have a checking account anymore. Fucking pay me a credit card. Don't even get a fucking checking account. No way. I don't understand why. Just you being home, I get so much shit done.
This is from me being sitting here?
Yeah. Because all morning I've been trying to start doing stuff. And I just I can't really get the oomph to get it started. Then I started talking to my live stream.
How was it sitting?
No. I've been talking like that all morning because I started thinking about my dog. And I'm like, if I am talking about other stuff, that means that I'm not thinking about my dog. Because if you're not here and I start crying, I can't even get anything done because I can't stop. I'm trying to fucking push through the crying and just start doing it. And it's just my body can't, my body seizes up and I can't do stuff. So I was nonstop talking until you got home. Yeah, but it's been a really long time that I've been pushing a lot of stuff down. And for a long time, I was when my dog goes, I'm out. Because I can't deal with my dog dying. And yeah, I know. That's why, I never actually, kind of really considered that I might actually have to deal with this later on. Because I was very set on once my dog goes, I'm gone. Because it's not that I wanted to die. It's just if that's going to be, the rest of my life, then just fucking put me out of my misery now. Sounds terrible. And I've been pushing a lot, even all the stuff with what happened with my parents. Because after talking to Debbie about it, it's not paying somebody and once your session's done, they move on to the next person. And Debbie knows I'm not full of shit. And I was I'm Debbie's mom. She said she started having to take care of her mom. And I was wasn't your mom really terrible to you? Used to hit you with chains and you'd start your day shoveling shit off the kitchen floor, dog shit off the kitchen floor. And she goes, yeah, absolutely. So why? Why would you be the one, you have sisters? I know you're, her sister, and there's other people that could take care of her. And she was because that's what you do for your parents. No matter if they were good or bad, you don't leave elderly people that can't help themselves to go die by themselves. Because it's just the right thing to do. And she was you didn't have a horrible childhood. I'm I know. And you know what? I think that made it worse is because I was very sheltered. I was very privileged. I was very a white middle class, white suburbia, normal, strict parents up until a point. And when it got bad, Debbie fucking dipped because she was I wasn't sticking around for that. And she was did it get worse? I'm that was just the first time. And it only got significantly worse after you guys were not there to deal with her. It's been a lot of stuff that I've been the thing with Alan putting his hands on me and fucking it really has been very, very bothers me. It really bothers me the fact that somebody put their fucking hands on me and got away with it. But I had him by the shirt and I fucking had my hand wound up. And he had his hands up, and then he put his hands down. And all I thought was, the kids downstairs, Charlie downstairs, I don't want him to see me like that. And that was the whole point, because I thought it was a joke. I thought he was fucking, I was probably shouldn't come out on the front lawn and screaming, creating drugs in front of my kids. I thought it was a joke. And when I came inside, I was just I was never told I can't do it. I was never told it was a problem even. It's gonna be my business. I'm gonna do it professionally as a business. And to make it seem I'm fucking Breaking Bad cooking meth in front of fucking children, and for Debbie to be Debbie, out of all people, Debbie's not down for fucking drugs and shit like that at all. Even my Uncle Greg, they're both very straight edge people. They don't really drink very much. They casually drink, whatever. But but Debbie, the first thing she said, she's what? It's pot. I don't understand. I said the same thing. Where I was I thought it was a joke. I was just what's going on? And he immediately fucking pushed me down the hall. And I just don't understand why Caitlin was she hit him first, and then he corrected her. No, I pushed her first. I'm why didn't you just go along with it? You could have fucking just been yeah, she hit me first. You both could have just fucking said that. And it was to come from a family where we don't even have water guns. My nana used to try to sneak the Zorro sword from the dollar store, and by the next day it would be fucking gone. because we are no violence in our house. And I know that he did it fucking when my dad wasn't there because my dad would fucking have him put in the fucking ground. And having my dad cry at me, being like, you know, that would have never happened if I was there. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I really miss my dad, like a fucking lot. And it's only because fucking he used to cry when he had to get a second job at the mustard factory. And he was like crying. I was like, wait, why are you so upset? Like, you said that you're probably going to get the job. But he was like, it smells so bad, man. It smells so fucking bad in there. And he just started crying. And I was like, Dad, I don't know what to do. I wish I could help. Like, I wish I could, like, make it so that he doesn't have to work. But that's why Caitlin and Alan are living there. Because they're stuck fucking paying off the rest of the mortgage. Like, and they need Caitlin and Alan to finish paying the mortgage. Because my dad can't work anymore. It was killing him. Like, literally, he would sit on the stairs crying in my mother's arms every day before work. Like, and it's like, they're not drug addicts. Like, well, my mom was for a little bit, but, like, they're not alcoholics. They don't gamble. We don't go on vacation. Like, we don't have new cars. Like, and I think because me and you had to figure out what the fuck we were doing and get situated and figure out, like, so I was like, okay, I can't really sit here and be like, this isn't fair. I don't deserve this. And I didn't do anything wrong. Didn't really have a chance to do that because we needed to figure out where we're going to live and what we're going to be doing now. So I kind of just like pushed it down a lot. And usually when I tell people about it, they're like, I'm sure it wasn't that bad, or they minimize it. And they're like, well, I'm sure you may have like not helped the situation. And I'm like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I'm not exaggerating. And it sounds like I'm full of shit, but Debbie actually fucking was there. And Debbie knows my mom from childhood, and Greg fucking knows her better than anybody. So she knows that I'm not fucking lying. I'm not full of shit. I'm not paying Debbie to be my therapist and she moves on to the next client. No. It's okay. I clean. Hurry up. Let's go. Go.
Okay, baby? Yeah. Why are you sniffling? keep eating. Like it fucking flushes down the toilet. What? Somebody offer me some coke, I'll say, yeah, I know, throw it on the ground.
No, I saw the funniest thing. It's a guy that apparently whenever someone's like, you wanna line? He'll be like, yeah, sure, and then he blows it in their face. And he's like, don't offer fucking drugs to people. I was like, that is fucking hysterical. I love that. Because agreed. Drugs are not cool. Do not share them with you people you care about because you shouldn't want the people you care about to be on drugs. It's terrible. I thought that was fucking hilarious. Oh, fuck. I forgot the fucking coffee. Ugh.
Everywhere.
Huh?
Looks like I'm on drugs. I'm like this.
No, it was like that in softball when they didn't spray for the mosquitoes. I'd be in center field and I'm literally like, I look like I have fucking Tourette's. Like, can't even fucking play the games when the mosquitoes are so bad.
That's fucking funny.
Oh, it's just so stupid. I'll put one on my boobs. And they're not dead! Isn't that amazing? Stop. He's not in there. What's he doing in there anyway? Huh? Okay, this is the last thing we're gonna look up about this stupid thing. Ah!
Whiskey, go.
Go, go,
go. Go, 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 go. What?
Wait, what?
What?
More? More? Travel time measure, satellite. No, I want a different year. Can you not see satellite images from... Is it actually only... Really?
What?
It's only Street View? No. Wait. Me. great. Fucking great. You gotta be fucking kidding. So I can no longer change the year.
Oh my god.
Right? Right? Can't go back in time to see fucking previous Google images, but you can definitely fucking see everything about wildfires, air quality, a heat warning when it's 30 degrees in July, because that's weird. Wow. Okay. Wow. What the fuck? That's what it looks like from Street View.
But that's just one of the empty ones.
I went there. Empty. 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 Maybe all those cars are employees at the airport. No, maybe it's parking for businesses. There's obviously a logical explanation for this. Merit, I agree, Muskie. Merit indeed. Wow.
Wow. So very. Almost doesn't matter. Really?
I'm turning this off. I'm fucking freezing.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Got your crack.